Good morning, welcome back to the DanGoesOutdoors YouTube channel. If you're new around here, have a think about subscribing. I do almost weekly videos, so that's what you get in return. Now today I'm out on my favourite big pit that I fish a lot, although I haven't been down here for about 3 months now, something like that. The river's reopened and I kind of got distracted with that, but I feel like now we're into September, it's time to give it another go, at least for my next few sessions, and just try and catch a big carp. So I've got about 30 hours ahead of me, can do the night, which is great, and I'm just doing my dawn patrol now, trying to see a fish, and if I do, you know I'll be on it. So, good news, I've seen one. I'm a bit of a sweaty mess now, because as I was doing my first lap, came around the corner here, saw a big fish boshing the weed behind me here, about 50 yards out. And it's a spot I fished a lot before. I know what's out there, I'm pretty sure I know where some clear spots are, so I'm just setting up a leading rod now. What is that? No idea. Just setting up a leading rod now so I can find those spots again. Might even have to go back and watch my old video to see where they are. But yeah, I'm pumped. It's so good to actually see a fish and know you're on something. Brilliant, let's get going. After a good lead about, my open water spot is still there. If anything, it's bigger and clearer, and the weed in between me and that spot has almost gone. It's unbelievable how much has changed. But my left-hand spot that I like to fish has, if anything, weeded up a bit too much. There is one nice, really clear spot there that if I get the rig on, I'm sure I'll get a bite. So I'll just have to be very careful with the casting. So I'm going to wrap the rod out now, probably put my bivvy up before I get my rods out, because it looks like the weather's turning a bit. And yeah, get to work, find out if we're fishing or camping. Okay, first rod going out. I'm going to do my open water spot first, because I think in this crosswind that's probably going to be the more difficult one. Well, second time lucky on that one. The first cast went where I wanted it to, but I didn't feel much of a drop, so did it again and got a little bit of a donk. Perfect. Second rod is going to be a bright pop-up, so I'm covering both my options. I've got a match for hatch and a bright one. See what the fish want. So last thing to do before the trap's set is to put some bait over top, and it's September, which is proper eating time of year for these fish. So I'm going to put 12, maybe 14 spoms over that open water spot, because fish can come into it from any angle, plus you've got all the tension of bream. So yeah, give them a good dollop of bait now and hope they respond. So on the left rod, I'm going to do things a bit differently. I'm just looking to set a trap there. So I've got a very high attract, pink pepper squid on there, quite high as well, because the lake bed is quite weedy over there, so the height of the pop-up means that at least the hook and the hook bait are up out of it, so I'm guaranteed presentation, or at least I'm ensured that there's a decent presentation. And I'm only going to put a small amount of bait over it, maybe 4 spoms, just because all I'm looking to do is intercept fish as they go down that channel between the bank and the island. I don't want to create a big blatant area that they might spook over, just a little trap that might stop them on the way. Right, that's everything done. 2 rods out in open water and a third to the left there, kind of down that island channel with just a little sprinkling of bait over it. And while I was setting up, I saw 2 more fish out in open water and 1 kind of the other side of the island there. So I'm pretty sure I'm in a good area. The fish seem active, so yeah, I just really hope I get my big carp. Now, carp or tench? Must be a tench this. God, I think we might be into a carp. God, I'm shaking. It's been, well, nearly a year since I've caught a carp from here. Not caught it yet. Yes, that's a nice mirror. See if I can get you guys a bit of a view of this. Taking a risk here. I'll have to wade in after it. Just can't get it over the net. Trying to go for him. Yes, that's not a bad mirror. There we go. That's a high double, if not 20. Lovely, come on. So the fish is just chilling in the net in the margin. Got my mat soaking wet, bucket of water, sling wet and zeroed, and a little bit of carp care. So yeah, we're all ready to bring it out. 17:10. I was hoping it might be a 20 this one, but I don't really care. That is awesome. For my first carp from here this year. Can't believe I didn't catch one in the spring, but I suppose you couldn't really fish here in the spring because of lockdown. Started late, then they started spawning, so yeah, I went on the rivers. Now I'm back. Brilliant. Pink pepper squid on a hinge stiff rig, really high up, like a 3-inch pop-up. Brilliant. Get in, that's the other side. Not really a dark warrior or whatever, but a real grower. I like that. Right, does have a little bit of mouth damage, this one, so we'll treat that, get a couple of still photos and put it back. Got my waders on so I can get in with them, look after them, let them fight another day. Let them go, let them grow. This one's not going to take long. I'm chuffed with that. Part of the reason the fish went away so quickly is because as soon as I land them, I just give them plenty of time in the net. I just cut the rig off just behind the lead clip so I can tie it back on afterwards, let the fish chill. Yeah, brilliant. I love big carp. The weather's picking up now, that's for sure. A lot of wind and a little bit of rain coming, but I feel like that's only going to get the fish moving. So before I put it back out, let me show you the rig. I caught that fish on the left-hand rod in that island trap that I set earlier. I knew fish have to go through that channel, and a bright pop-up is sure to get their attention, a kind of take it or leave it type approach. So yeah, pink pepper squid, pretty high up, because you know, when it's on its own out there, I want it to be fairly obvious, and also I knew that spot had a bit of weed on it, so yeah, fishing it high like that just gives me a little bit more of a guarantee that it's going to be presented. And that fish was nailed. It was like about 1.5 inches back in the bottom lip, so yeah, it was not coming off. Boom section made of coated braid there, about 8 or 9 inches long, a little bit longer so that again it settles over that low-lying weed. Lead clip with a 3-ounce lead, so if it does get into trouble, the lead can come off, and that lead did come off when I was playing that fish because there's so much weed out there. All it needs to do is plough through one weed bed and the lead's gone, but it doesn't just fall off for the sake of it, you know, only if the fish gets into trouble. So if there's no problems, I land the fish and the lead and I'm not littering in a lake. Short length of rig tubing just to pin everything down and protect the fish's flank, and then super strong 15-pound main line. Yeah, brilliant. So we'll hoy that back out there and just hope it happens again. We're only about 3 or 4 hours into the session and we've already had one.
What? His water butt isn't green and covered in stickers? How on earth does he catch any fish?
So that's my kettle on, ready for tonight's tea. Just gonna have a mug shot. Yeah, it's gonna get darker sooner than I probably think, really. Realistically, 8, half 8, and it's gonna be basically pitch black out here. It's about 6:30 now, so I need to get a move. I'm gonna eat that. I am gonna recast my rods. I'm a little bit worried I haven't caught a tench. Yeah, I usually catch quite a few of them here, up to 7 in one trip sometimes. So I'm thinking, is there something wrong with my rigs? Is my location not right? Did I just fluke that fish out? But you know, I don't know. So I'm gonna give it the night. Obviously, I can always move tomorrow morning if I wake up early and see something elsewhere. But yeah, recast the rods, make sure they're all right. A little bit more bait over top, nothing big, you know, just a couple of spawns, just so there's some fresh smell out there, because obviously if I haven't caught much, then the fish haven't eaten a lot of the bait. So yeah, just a sprinkling over top, just a little bit of fresh smell out there, and yeah, hopefully that'll encourage a bite. That's all 3 rods recast now. The casting on the left-hand rod left a little bit to be desired. You know, it's such a tight spot that I'm aiming for, and I need to feel that drop to know I'm on it. But yeah, finally got it. So what I tend to do on an evening on an overnighter is I bring myself a really nice ale, and today I've got this bad boy. It's called Kelto. It's from an Irish brewing company called the White Hag. It's a Kolsch style ale, so should be some nice deep flavours in there, I assume. Yeah, I'm a bit of a beer snob if you didn't know. And then I've got a basic bottle of Bud for later. Yeah, and I've downloaded Superbad. I love Superbad. It's such a funny film, and yeah, people say that I remind them of Evan. You know, I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but if you don't like Superbad, you can't come fishing with me. It's hilarious. So I'm gonna enjoy my beer, watch Superbad, and yeah, hopefully catch a fish tonight. Oh my god, I'm currently watching fish bosh out over to my right there. Yeah, nothing happened last night, so I got up early, having a look around. One jumped and another. I'm gonna have to move. Right, let's get this away. Okay, I've done it. I've made the move. I'm a sweaty mess now. But I've put 2 rods out in open water where I saw those fish jump. A little bit of bait over top. The spodding was horrendous. My spawn was not opening. So I ended up swapping over to a different style, and then that one didn't open a couple of times, so I settled on just putting 3 over the top because I didn't want to make too much disturbance. You know, I made 3 casts with a leading rod just to confirm the spot I thought was there was still there, and both my rods went in first time, so I figured, right, just minimal disturbance. And my 3rd rod, I've just chucked down the edge on a nice little margin spot. So yeah, I'm all ready to go. I've put the bivvy back up more than anything just to dry it out, and I'm going to get my porridge on now. We're down into what will probably be the last half hour or so of the session. I've managed to blag a little bit of extra time because Sophie's hungover. So yeah, I can stay a little bit longer. And really, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. We've gone past what's really good bite time on here and gone past the same time yesterday that we caught that fish. But it's been really nice to practice proper carp fishing. You know, when I was fishing here hard back in late May, early June, when lockdown lifted for anglers and we were allowed back out again, I didn't get to fish like this, you know, seeing fish boshing, getting on them, putting some rigs out there and, you know, catching a fish like I did yesterday. But I'm very surprised that it was the small trap that caught the fish. You know, early September heading into autumn is really good time to get an open water spot going, get a lot of bait on it, a lot of boilies. You know, there's a lot of smoky jack boilies in my mix and I thought the fish would be really on them, but that open water spot that had 2 rods on it, not a touch at all, no slits coming off it, no fish showing, and the rigs were pristine when I brought them in. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the fish are still in that kind of summer mode of just flitting about the place, and luckily we managed to trip one up, and I think that's a testament to just having a small amount of bait, a very bright hook bait, fished quite high off the deck. So I reckon that carp, he wasn't feeding on that spot, he was just passing, caught his eye, went down, had a mouthful or 2, and one of them had our hook bait. Yeah, brilliant. So we'll give it another 30-45 minutes, I'll have a slow pack down, and yeah, maybe we'll catch a fish. Just as I'm thinking about wrapping up, real good liner on the middle rod there, that's it, everything away. A great about 30 hours down at the big pit, and so good to have caught a big carp finally. He's got that big fish itch well and truly scratched, and I know £17.10 isn't huge, but for North Yorkshire it's actually quite a big fish, so I'm really happy with that. And to caught it from a 20+ acre pit, that's brilliant. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and good luck with your fishing.